What's up, everyone? So it is super bright out because it just got done snowing yesterday, so everything's white and clean looking.
Yeah, don't let the sun fool you. It is cold out.
Not that cold, but yeah, it's
cold. Cold enough.
Yeah, it's 20 degrees, so let's go inside, take a look. Ooh, it is warm in here. 70 degrees.
Oh, wow.
All right, so everything is doing really good. It's like it really doubled from last week, I would say. A lot of the stuff. It's crazy looking. We do have a huge problem with that mole. It obviously, juicy fruit did not kill it. And that's probably because I didn't put any juicy fruit out here. I totally forgot, spaced on it. That's my bad. I'm going to make sure I do that before I end this video. We have two spots where he had come up and has pushed a big mound up. So we gotta make sure we take care of that because I don't want that in here and eating our roots.
No.
Of the plants.
Especially with so many root vegetables in here this time of year. Yeah,
Yeah.
we don't want that. We also haven't planted anything new in here yet.
Nope. We're
But-
still going through a season. We have, what, one place to wait?
I'm waiting on one place. We ordered from 5 different places. 4 have come. We're waiting on one. We just checked the tracking and it doesn't look like it'll be here for a few more days. So hopefully by next week we can get some stuff at least laid out of what we want to put in here. We've talked about ideas a little and we definitely want some of those cold weather things. Cabbage, kohlrabi, we've talked about it, but some of those things take up so much room. So we're trying to weigh our options. It'd also be really nice, of course, to do lots of greens, but maybe even some carrots.
So let's go and walk you through what's going on. So the onions are still growing. It's like they're growing a half an inch, some or more a week, but I've noticed they are taking up a lot more water. Last week I really soaked them, and I'm gonna have to do it again because they're dry. And everywhere else in the bed is wet and moist, it's fine. But right here where these onions are is the driest. So they're definitely soaking up a lot of moisture, which is fine because I want them to grow and get big bulbs. Yeah, bulbs. And I'm excited for these because we never had a really good harvest off of onions except for our first year. You know, we've always had the littler ones, so I really want to see how big these can get. And the peppers, still no sign of life, but we'll see what happens there. And Paris Market carrots, they're still Paris Market carrots. This is from a mole. And he's got it pushed up, tunneled this way, and it goes that way. So this is the issue. We have to make sure we get him out of here, because we don't want that in here, eating our stuff that we planted for us. All right, so same thing with these peppers. They're kind of just sitting there, chill, no life. So we gotta just wait. And when we start planting, we'll make the decision if we're gonna pull all of them or leave maybe these 3 and pull those so we can plant through there and plant in sections again. As far as that goes, we don't know much more about them. I mean, they're still sturdy. They're not rotten. The stalks are hard. You know, they're not squishy like the ones out in the garden. Those are all squishy, so I don't know. These aren't squishy. I think I just like saying that word squishy. They're not squishy. So, anyways, the radishes, awesome. And you can tell this area is dry too. So it's kind of weird that, I guess not really weird. You could tell, I guess what I'm trying to say is you can tell what's growing more right now because I would say it's because of the drier soil. And all that stuff is so tiny in seeds that nothing's really sucking the moisture out. But where these are in the onions, it's dry. So I'm going to have to water these again today. And they're coming in really good. You can see there's a little red bulb right there. And the carrots, they're still on cruise control. I don't know.
This side of the greenhouse that doesn't have the de-icing cables buried in it, isn't really doing too much. Celery looks alright. Some of it's good, some of it's not, kind of how it's been. But I never really did thin it great, and I'm not expecting it to do great until I do. And the lettuce here, this whole side of the greenhouse, the hoop house, without the de-icing cable buried, it all is about the same as last week. So I'm not gonna bore you by re-saying the exact same things. Everything looks about the same. Maybe the spinach grew a little bit, and that very strange leaf is really dark red. But other than that, there's not a whole lot going on here.
Okay, so basically this whole side, there's not much, much difference, but this side, there's a lot more growth, and I do think it was because of the heat cable in some ways not, because this is the time where radishes do shine. They like the colder weather. The lettuce is towards the end of the lettuce season, for that, because we picked it how many times. So but we kind of wanted to talk to you guys about the things what we would change to make it easier or better in here, because we've been getting a lot of questions on like what would we do differently if we were able to rebuild this. I know for personally me, I was talking to my brother about this because he was asking it too. What would we do differently? What I would do personally is, for one, if lumber wasn't through the roof right now and like last year, I wish I would have rented a machine, a backhoe or something, and come through and dig down in about a 4-foot, 5-foot trench through here between the two walls, and then made a structural roof system up and over it, and then do the poly in the front at about a 60 degree, and then do a chloroplast on top on another little part of the angle, and then solid on the back and sides. Now the reasoning for that would be it'd be heated all winter, and we could grow like tomatoes and fruit trees through our seasons, and or the other thing would be to do like a earth battery, where you run tile. You dig out a big trench, come back with rock, and you have drain tile going with a fan on one end and blowing the heat, and it's kind of circulating the whole thing. And what are your thoughts?
The couple things that I wish we would have done is maybe made the beds taller. It can be a little difficult to bend over, although it is nice that the kids can reach them and plant in here. I would probably also have appreciated shelving and such. Now that we're getting ready to start our seeds soon, it's either plant stuff in the greenhouse or set stuff on the dirt or on the floor, and just kind of trying to figure out how we're going to do that is, I don't know, it's boggling my mind. If you guys have any great ideas for that, let us know down below.
Yeah, I think we're going to have to do some shelving somewhere up about this range, probably height. But we'll see. We'll see what we can do there. Yeah, I think definitely it was a great year for us so far, and it's a great addition, to help us out. As far as like people want to do this in the future, I really do think that if we did the double plastic with the air fan in between the air, it'll also help with some R value there. But I really do think that the cables help a ton. Mm-hmm. And maybe, just maybe, we can grow a tomato plant if I let it run through the bottom. I don't know. Something I'll try this fall again. Doesn't hurt. And you keep trying different things. But this mainly was for us, the beginning was for our greens, basically, so we can grow greens all winter. And because that's the biggest thing, like from around here. When you go to the grocery store, you're getting greens that come from overseas or wherever, because no one's growing around here because it's a colder climate too. So
I'm sure we could have utilized this space a little more this year. There are lots of dead spots or spots where we thought things might grow and then they really didn't. But I think just it being an experiment and trying things and seeing what we liked and what we didn't is kind of half the fun of it. So it's been interesting to see what's going to work, what's not, what we'll do more of, what we won't. It's been cool.
Yeah, definitely a good addition to our place, and we're happy for it. I wish we'd have made the beds wider and then, like you said, taller, because we originally were thinking putting 55-gallon drums filled with water in here, and that would hold a lot of heat for us also. But when we started looking at the angles of the sun during the winter, it would be shadowing this bed the whole time, so that wouldn't help us. So we didn't go that route, and that also was going to be our table system. Well, now looking back, I wish we'd have just made these wider so we could have grown probably just a little bit more. And then we'll look into something that we can somehow make a shelf up here and hang it from this rack or something. We'll figure something out.
Yeah.
For seed starting.
It'd be really cute to have like some like window type boxes hanging from here or something, but Matt's a little taller than I am, so we can only do so much.
Yeah. I'm thinking those cedar planks are still pretty cheap, where we can probably have a rope or something go this way, or a long chunk of wood, and then put them this way and hang them from, or slide them into the hog panel or cattle panel.
Always something to do.
Yeah. We'll figure that out when we get there. The heat cable, I've also had a lot of people asking about that. I still have it on right now, on for an hour, off for an hour, on for an hour, off for an hour. And when it got down to -2 the other day, it got down to 29 in here in the heated one. So I think if you just left it on, because it's only a 300 watt, it's not much power. If you left it on for, I would say 13 to 14 hours the day, because you're going to have that time when the sun's coming up where it drops really cold. So if you leave it on for an hour past that, and then same in the evening, if you have it start before it gets dark, that hour before, I think that'll help huge, and it'll keep that nice and warm. And if we can bury the cable a little deeper, because we're only about a ½ inch, quarter inch in some spots, I think that would also help. So it's something I'm going to try for next year. So if you guys like the content,
give it a thumbs up.
And don't forget to subscribe down below. And glad you got to see us again.
Bye.
Bye.